Trader.com's Daily Brief. The answer to your question is learn the goddamn process, trade your trading plans, don't take too much risk on any one trade, and just let yourself get rich. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Frivolity. It is Tuesday, 10th of October, 2023. Headlong through first 2 weeks of the quarter. Got a pretty good idea what the fund manager are thinking. Gotta say, I'm seeing just a whole bunch of buy signals spitting up across the board. I suppose we could talk about a few things. I went and bought some stock today. And I threw in a couple bids on names that I've been sort of accumulating away here in the alternative fuel sector. And actually interesting was reading news articles about how these alternative fuel companies, EVs, now give basically governments are just handing out money right, left, and center, even though they're all technically bankrupt and they're driving us further and further into debt. They're upping the tax breaks if you go and buy an EV. I mean, what the fuck? It's like economics, sound money management, balance your books, pay your fucking bills, you deadbeat. I mean, all of that. It's like literally since the dot-com blow up. I think that's when it officially started. It's like sound money management's just completely gone out the window. And you could argue that that's when Alan Greenspan sort of started the whole repo business, which was, basically just free money for the banks. Massive money printing and hyperinflation. That's where it started. All this inflation crap that we're living in now. Of course, all you guys, Norray, Adam, you all know this, Constantine, Eddie, TBG, all that. That's where these problems actually started. At the time, of course, what were they doing? They were cutting taxes for everybody. And so now the rich, they don't pay any taxes. Tax loops. I mean, even Trump himself has said, the whole system's rigged. You want to know why? Because I take advantage of it all the time. Because I'm a rich guy. Look at me. I'm not going to pay a dime in taxes, you suckers. So I don't know. You end up just throwing your arms up in the air. It's such a shame. And you go to the grocery store and a loaf of bread's $5. Like, what the hell? And, who knows where the hell the end of this is. Probably $50 for that loaf of bread. Suppose the good thing, if you own crypto and you own Bitcoin, that probably means another 10x, 100x, whatever on Bitcoin price. So, it all comes out in the wash. That's the whole reason why we got involved in Bitcoin to begin with, I suppose. It's probably one of the only assets in the world that's actually going to be able to handle all this hyperinflation crap. Actually, it was interesting. Speaking of Bitcoin, one of our site members, I think he stumbled upon a news or item that I don't know whether it's a news item or not, but anyway, I had to retweet it. I was so enamored by the post. Did Eddie just go and discover who the hell Satoshi Nakamoto is? This was around quite a while ago. Then somebody even pointed out, well, Brian, the rumor's been floating around, past 10 years on this. But here's an interesting link to a Reddit, or I guess there's Bitcoin Talk. I don't know if this is Reddit or not. It just says Bitcoin Forum. And this is going back to, where are we here? Yeah, June 15th, 2013. Geez, wish we could hit the Wayback Machine and go buy 100 million Bitcoins back then, eh? Jesus. Anyway, so that was kind of fun. We were having fun bantering about that. And I guess it would actually make a lot of sense that the Japanese would actually be the ones to do this whole Bitcoin thing. Because the Japanese are under the yoke of the Americans, right? I don't know if you've ever heard of what do they call them? The princes of Japan or something like that. Where after the Second World War, the Americans just went in and just basically said, you're our bitches now, you do whatever we say. So it would make perfect sense in hindsight 2020, if we look back over time, that it was the Japanese that actually initiated this whole Bitcoin thing. But it is interesting too how they tied it in. I've always said CIA. The talk with this kind of threat is NSA, National Security Agency, I guess, down in the States. Very similar. But anyway, some kind of a fun distraction. If you feel like going down rabbit holes trying to figure out what the hell's going on in this world, good luck. If you find out, let me know. Um, I decided to go and ring the register on the loom yesterday. We were 4x off of this recent purchase down here at 5 and change. I think we got up into the 20s yesterday. And we already banged out a double on this original purchase. This was basically about 4x. So basically our next double level up in that 20 area. So I decided, what the hell, what do they say? Caution is the better part of valor. And on balance, it's just good money management. Especially if you can bang out 4x's, that's just fucking awesome. And then we can just ride the rest of this. Who knows where the hell it's going to go? It go to $100. We saw it happen with, silly things like Luna. Who knows what happens with this guy? It is interesting that at the moment, and I don't quite understand why this one's rallying, but the news out today, of course, is that first and foremost, specifically with regard to crypto, the SBF trial is well underway. And judges are scolding SBF's lawyers for kind of breaking court etiquette, which I thought was kind of funny. But as you can see, Caroline Ellison set to testify as star witness against Bankman-Fried, which is kind of sad. So, and this is the way our society works, is probably the Fedsters went to Miss Ellison and said, you're going to spend the rest of your life in jail, or you're going to throw your buddy under the bus, no matter how much you like him. So this is anyway. So that's sort of what's going on in the crypto scene right now. I think we've talked a bit about this recently in our little weekly newsletters, that this big event was coming down the pike. With regard to the markets, it's kind of another. I mean, we just had that funny holiday session yesterday, and usually holiday sessions are a bit screwy. We didn't really have any econs even across the globe to speak of. And of course, everybody's all focused on this Israeli thing. And actually, I saw more and more that it looks like Iran and Russia sort of goaded Hamas into doing this. And I think it was critical for Russia. They had to somehow get the focus off of what was happening in Ukraine, because Russia's just getting, I mean, they're just murdering Russians every day. I mean, it's shocking how many poor Russian boys are getting wiped out. And it's just, I'm sure Vladdy on a daily basis is like, oh, we got to change the narrative somehow. So I get the impression that a lot of this was sort of, they were goaded. The only problem here, and we've talked about this, is that the Hamas doing what they did is just playing right into Netanyahu's hands, and now he can literally unleash the gods of war on these poor Palestinians. And the talk is, and this is so tragic, because this is exactly like Warsaw. I mean, no difference. But the talk is that basically the Israelis are going into this sealed off section of Gaza. These people are trapped in there. They cannot get out. And the Israelis are just murdering right, left, and center. Man, can't write better fiction than reality. I'll tell you that much, by crackers. And as I've said repeatedly, and I make no qualms about it, some idiot Canadian on the west coast of North America, he doesn't know what the fuck is going on over there. So anything I say, it's just purely me speaking out my butt. But, if anything, the one thing that I would hope that I can convey to all of you is just that whatever we read in the news headlines and on the rags and stuff, it's probably not what's really going on underneath the surface. And when it comes to risking your money in the marketplace and stuff, try to understand that usually your emotional reaction to thing is probably the wrong trade, which is so sad. 1% wants you to sell, wants you to panic. I mean, you see what's happened in the stock market here in our dashboard. We actually got buy signal here coming in on the US stock market. And if we go through all the breadth indicators, remember we had said over the past few days that if we saw the country funds get like oversold minus 80 or above on both the short and medium term, that in itself is going to probably indicate the world equity markets are washed out. And lo and behold, and of course, you go out into the public and they're all freaking out. Oh, the world's going to end. And you go out into the market and you say, holy shit, look at all the buy signals. I mean, there's buy signals everywhere. So we had talked, of course, about this huge reversal in the Nasdaq and the tech stocks. You can see the W there; it's as plain as day. Huge bullish engulfing bar. Our system, our screener, as I said, the breadth itself turned back bullish. Did notice that the last big tech bull market, which started, I guess, last March or something. Not this, like a March and a half ago, I guess. Big buy signals in things like Amazon. And lo and behold, look at daily bullish key reversal. Here comes another big bullish key reversal in Amazon. So I got a funny feeling this market's probably got some legs. I did actually go and buy some stock today for my registered account. Picked up a little bit of, we've been watching this QuantumScape, beautiful little W there, right off of 78.6. That's basically everything I like to see. So I did go and buy that W. I think price has backed off a little bit since I took this screenshot, but look at all these gaps. I mean, gee whiz. From $6.5, if we can get a rally up into that 12, 13 area, fill in all these gaps up top. Might take into the spring, who knows? But I think there's some money to be made there. And then I did go and throw in a bunch of bids. I've already got some of the alternative fuel stocks on the books. There is that QS chart sort of zoomed in. But I went and threw in some bids. Actually, interesting. The guns and ammo stock, Cotter's guns and ammo stock, actually spitting up. I think we're back above water on this thing. I bought that level right in there. So huge move back up after sort of pulling back and testing support. So he's back in the money. And that's kind of a zoomed in image. If we zoom out and look at the whole picture, you can kind of see, it's a pretty good looking name to be picking up down here. I bought that one before though, so it's not like I need to go and buy any more of that. Notice that our screener actually likes good old Fink's Broadcom in here. Of course, you can see the little double bottom. This sure as hell looks like a bullish bot to me. One higher low, two higher lows, three higher lows, W's. I don't know whether we got trend line breakouts. Look at the beautiful momentum push right across the board here. And I thought it was interesting that when I was reviewing screener results here before the video here today, that Broadcom was like #1 on our hit list here. Daily momentum pushes on volume. Look at me, I'm a bull. So I have a feeling that NASDAQ is re-exerting itself. As I had said, Amazon spitting out key reversals. Interesting, we have a few of the utilities, which actually would imply that short-term interest rates maybe have topped out. So that's kind of interesting how we're getting that on the utilities. Should take a look at that Amazon, just see what the hell it looks like. I mean, so there's the Broadcom, you can see it's pretty powerful momentum push. Nice to see that the system picked that up. Amazon, I don't know whether it has a lot of momentum behind it, but I think if I understand correctly, it does have a pretty substantial bullish Q reversal here working. Oh, look at that chart. Gee whiz. Hey, caramba. Can't write better fiction than reality, eh? So there is the key reversal. Geez, I would learn this stuff, folks. I mean, it's incredibly powerful. And now it's gapping higher, and now you've got a big fat W working. So is Amazon about ready to get rocking and rolling here back up top? It wouldn't surprise me. Interesting how it couldn't even get back down 38.2s. Is this nothing more than just a counter trend rally to fill in all these gaps up top here? Could be, but nonetheless, we are getting a push higher here in the risk on assets. And I guess, other than what's interesting about this, I'm a little concerned that it's not really happening on news. I started off the conversation with you guys that, yesterday, of course, whoops, that's actually a little wrong. That's our little old lady portfolio. And of course, I think I showed you, banged out a big win on that, Leon. So feeling pretty good about that. Maybe it is here. Yeah. Yesterday was kind of a weird holiday session all about oil. Oil really not following through here. So I'm wondering if the fact that the oil cannot follow through, we notice here today, the headline sort of waking up, European stocks rally, woohoo! In a weird sort of way, does this kind of play into Chappelle wants to see pain out of the American consumer? I tell you, if the stock market starts rallying back up, then as soon as we get close to FOMC meetings, and if I understand correctly, the next FOMC meeting is right after the next big eclipse event, which is right at the end of this month. And speaking of which, on this Friday, we have our celestial guru going to join the call. I think it would definitely behoove everybody to participate. Yesterday in the after party, we talked a little bit about some of the cycles and what we're expecting out of the US dollar. So he's going to be on the call for the after party, the special guest on Friday. Cool. So I think everybody should pay attention to that. We talk a little bit about how this eclipse season is playing itself out. You might find that the beginning of the eclipse window, market obviously is putting in bullish overtures. And you might see that the market jumps up here, relieves all this oversold condition. And then on the eclipse event into the end of the month, we go back into the bear. I could easily see something like that. So enjoy the rally while it lasts, folks. That's probably the simple message. But again, a little leery about getting too excited about this bull market when we don't really have any econs here driving price action. Here is today, Tuesday, October 10th. Where are the econs? In fact, all we have is a whole bunch of Fed speakers here, which is always iffy, because these guys, they're always wrong. So they get paid really big salaries. They all look like they've got heads on their shoulders, but Jesus, like you all saw through the sickness how blatantly wrong all of these silly bankster crooks are. And, the irony of it all is you can't even believe what they're saying because they're probably working on somebody else's agenda. Joey Diamond, Rothschild, Great Reset, Klaus, and all those dickheads, right? So, we can't even believe any of these people now. But I wouldn't be surprised if the talk coming out of all these speeches is, hey, the inflation problem isn't so bad. Maybe we're close to topping out on interest rates, and maybe we'll actually start getting friendly again with the market. But that's not on actual economic data. Like what's interesting is tomorrow we actually do have the FOMC minutes. Now this is the actual sort of talk from the most recent Fed meeting. My hunch is that, and this often happens, is they'll bid the market up the previous day or two. Then tomorrow into this event, they'll keep bidding the market up and look at it, we're a bull market, and Amazon's flying and the QQQs are rallying like crazy. And then in this last hour of trading tomorrow afternoon, the Fed minutes come out and everybody shits their pants or bed or whatever. So I would be watchful of that. And then, of course, you can see first thing tomorrow morning, we do have some producer price index inflationary numbers coming out of the States. And of course, on Thursday, this is actually when we're going to get some real econs that will actually maybe sort of give us an indication of where the hell this economy is really going and what the Fed can really do. So I'm getting the impression that yesterday, of course, was a funny holiday, but it looks like that basically is carrying over to today, that it's not really econs that are driving this. It's more like it's a bit of a vacuum with regard to news. And so they're kind of taking advantage of that vacuum to bid prices up. That's the impression that I get. Having said that, buy when it snows, sell when it goes. Here we are into October and we're getting key reversals. So, if there is a bottom that does come in here through the stock market and, risk assets over the next month or so, I think that would be very business as usual. So, as I said, a couple alternative fuel stocks that I have been interested in. I took stabs on them earlier in the year, got stopped out on one. And you can see here come, I mean, look at those W's. Gee whiz, that looks pretty powerful. So there I am bidding at $1.27. And what do these cocksuckers do? They're just bidding this fucking thing up, 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 up. Not gonna chase. I'll just work my order. If we can get some sort of pullback through, latter part of the week, then great, awesome. As well, Ballard, I thought it was interesting. Ballard spat out an upside outside bullish engulfing bar, not quite a key reversal. This is probably going to make some sort of head and shoulders pattern here, so he's looking interesting. The plug power that we have talked about, bullish engulfing bar on the candlesticks, but other than that, no other real buy signal there. Westport actually did recently roll their stock back, so I'm interested in hunting an opportunity to get in here, but I don't see any buy signals here just yet. And I would say Westport's probably more a play on natural gas than anything else. And then, probably along the lines of the sort of AI plays, and that conversation, this QS, you can see the little double bottom that came in here this morning. I bought that. I think I pointed out earlier, this is 78.6. So I'm more than happy to be a buyer against those kind of levels for my registered account. Very, very small risk. So, all right. I don't know whether there's a hell of a lot to add to the equation. A couple key, bullish call spread trades I'm interested in. Try and get in here now. I hope I didn't miss this one on key. This is one that Zach was able to sneak his way in. I think there's money to be made here. Yeah, a bit of a contrarian play. I mean, this is buying a bank, but you can see how it got beat up here. Could we get a 50% retracement sometime over the next 6 months to fill in this big hole on the charts? I think so. So looking at doing stuff there. And then I suppose in crypto, we have another stock name that I'm interested in picking up some longer term calls through a bull call spread strategy. I like this Mara here. It's up about 3% on the day. Hopefully you can see coming into reload zones. So shouldn't surprise anybody if Brian's interested in picking up some stock down in buying windows down here. I think actually he spat out pretty powerful bullish engulfing bar. I don't think it was quite a key reversal, but pretty darn bullish signal. Yeah, not quite a key reversal, but big engulfing bar. I don't mind being a buyer down in this area, and the spreads are looking really interesting. This is like a 2025 bull call spread, so tons and tons and tons of time. So there's your stock market. Interesting to see crypto stocks themselves. As I said, I am interested. I don't know whether I really have a buy signal there outright, other than a bullish engulfing bar in a reload zone. I don't know. Do we have any bullish divergence? Oh yeah, pretty nice bull divs, nice W's. Willie's stupid. So, if you get like, nice W's and stuff forming here, I think it makes sense why this thing would be a buy. Did notice that coin started perking up here a bit. Nice little W's coming in here on today's price action. Look at the W's across the board. Actually, we'd call this a Davo signal. I wonder where that Davo guy is. I wonder if he's even still trading the market. I didn't, I'm not really overly impressed with trade location. I would have preferred that it come in down here. But we bought a whole bunch of this through, you can see I bought a bit more right there. Thinking about this thing working its way back up, I mean, keep in mind the silly stock came out at like $400. If we get a rallied 50% bounce over the next couple of years, then we're laughing here. But you can see this stuff is trend based. Galaxy's probably one. This is in Canada. Novogratz would love to get a US listing one day. But nothing really, it's not like a screaming buy, but interesting. You can see was nibbling away for my registered account in Mr. Novogratz. And then Hut, that's probably also another one that you could take a look at. And again, kind of like the coin, it's not really at the bottom end of the range. And there's, you can see we're still sort of making lower highs and lower lows. But I sure do like the momentum picture here. So, we're probably closer to a bottom than we are a top, considering that these silly stocks, this one was over $20 a share there, last cycle peak. So, if you are interested in crypto stocks, I would definitely be paying attention over the next 6 months. It's exactly the same thing as the crypto coins. In fact, this KMD had big pop there. Well, I suppose we'll flip over to crypto for just a moment. So I did take a bunch of money out of the market on this Loom. As I said to begin the broadcast, we got a nice pop. This is versus Bitcoin. Got a nice pop up top here, so let a whole bunch go, which means it frees up a whole bunch of capital, which means I can go shopping. So this KMD sure looks interesting right down on its bottom end of its range. I might do a little bit of shopping down there. I know Eddie, he's always got a couple names that I could always chew on if I'm looking for names to consider buying. I suppose, hell, you could probably go and pick up a bit of Allen down here. He's puked out, come back down. Wicks and tails like to be eaten. He's getting awfully cheap. I bought the BFF here. Could I go and buy a little bit more down in here? Interesting how the OBV is actually moving up. Allen is Allen, though, of course. I definitely want to try and go and pick up some more of this Mana Decentraland. When the Paris Hilton is going to be back at it. When I think I even started to see some advertisements for Decentraland Party 2023 kind of stuff starting. So there's one that I might go and pick up. I didn't pick him up yet. Don't think I'll buy any more Ubik. But anyway, I've got it on the books. And of course, Zug is going to curse my name every time he hears that symbol. There was a couple others that I was really, really interested in. I can't think of them just off the top of my head. This is Tuesday. So on Tuesdays, we have a good old Stuart come on. So he'll talk to us a little bit about some of the names that he's super interested in. These are sort of more like investment grade. And actually, this is an interesting one because we just banged into what I would consider a pretty important technical level here. I barked about this Zugi's name the other day. I still think this is a buy in here. I might go and pick up a little bit more of that one. Sure, like him. But Sjord's names, here we are. This is an interesting textbook study. If you did have the opportunity to come in and buy 3.5, even down here at the bottom, I remember Sjord's asking me, where would you think that this thing ought to go here in the short term? And we banged right into good old Brian's favorite fib. There's a big old wick, trapped bulls that needed release. And it was a 2.618 off of this double bottom. So that was an interesting level, an interesting rejection there. Having said that, if the market goes into some crazy ass orgy, what I would just expect now is, maybe we do a bit of consolidating here. And if we can accept higher, then next stop on this guy will be up around that 9 cent area. So, and I wouldn't be surprised if you see something along the lines of that kind of price action down the road. So that might project sort of into, the end of the year, I suppose. We can get a pop all the way up into 877s there. So, yeah, it's a pretty exciting time to be in the market. I'll tell you that much, firecrackers. It's nice to see that the breadth of the market has turned back positive for the broader market. And I can see it in the stocks, as I said, when we looked at this list. I mean, huge double bottoms coming in on QQQs and SPYs. And like we said, bullish engulfing bars on things like Amazon. I guess that's a weekly chart. Let's change that to a daily. Yeah, there's the bullish engulfing bar. Huge key reversal buy signal there. We've talked about Google had that weekly inverted empire, big buy signals there. Looks like the semiconductors are rocking and rolling. They're pretty happy. So away they go. Look at the W on Microsoft. We talked about that the other day as well. Hell, it even looks like Allen's joining the party here and trying to ramp up. So looks like, the one thing that surprised me here, but I guess it makes sense if everybody's in rally mode. Look at good old Baba. So that means our China trade is probably rallying back up top as well. If Baba's got a little bit of a bottom working here, I don't know whether you consider that like an investment grade buy signal, but W's are W's are W's. So if we just did simple things like Foggenbaum's, probably give us some upside objectives. So if we go boom, there we go, 2.618 would take us right into that gapping level, which would make perfect sense. 4669 would take us into this gapping level and that key pivot high there. So looks like the whole equity market is in rally mode as we've, where can I show you this? What was interesting was, I don't even know where I have it. Darn. Maybe off of this chart. Yeah. So we've got the lunar eclipse there on the 28th. This is the end of the eclipse window. And then we have the FOMC basically on Halloween. What a weird day for that to happen. So I don't know what Bitcoin's going to do here. We got kind of a weakening in the crypto market. There was a lot of selling yesterday. Does the market firm up and we turn back up here? I don't know. As I said, if Sam Bankman-Fried's girlfriend there is Ellison is testifying against him, then I wouldn't be surprised if sort of big crypto has to take a bit of a pause here. And if we look at big crypto here, you can see, especially things like Ethereum, looking pretty heavy here. The total market cap looking heavy. So actually interesting disconnect here with what's going on with crypto, but I think it has everything to do with that trial and the broader risk market. It sure looks like the risk market's catching a nice bid here. Okay, I think I'll leave the free broadcast at that. I mean, there's so much to cover. The irony of it all, like I said, is I think that the market's in a bit of a vacuum right now. A little bit dangerous to get too excited about the bull here, especially with Fed minutes tomorrow afternoon and inflation numbers later on this week. And we are now into this eclipse season. Don't be surprised, honestly, if we have a bunch of back and forth here. There could be a couple FU moves here against these recent lows here as we work our way through October. But if anything, for the risk takers of the market, I think the dashboard and the country fund signal there that we got last week, I think was a really good testament that the whole world equity market was basically washed out. And we're a little overdue for a rally. And I think that's what's happening now. So, okay, I think we'll leave the public broadcast at that. We're going to head on over, have a nice little session with Sjord in the after party, TRI CTO, and talk a little bit about site development, talk a little bit about what's going on in Europe, and talk a little bit about some of the names that he's uber interested in and investing wise for TRI and the coming crypto bull market. Keep in mind, he liked Luna had like 40-50 cents, and we were selling all the way up to, I think the highest sale price I got off there was in the $60 area. So if you don't think that can happen again, then you don't understand capitalism. I think it will happen again. And a number of his names that he's super interested in, I think they could all easily do something similar. And the irony of it all is you can already start to see them popping off here with things like the loom. It's already starting. So, I hope you got your skirt together. And if not, we've got this big November sales event coming. If you were ever going to think about joining the school program and locking in a really cheap price for this education, this has got to be the opportunity for you. All right, everybody, have yourselves a great day. PMA for the win. All the best, and bye for now.